Yes, guys, Spud here. This is the only episode of the Roundup I've probably never wanted to make. Champ special, it's episode 82, FaZe beat OpTic in the grand finals. Yeah, it's gonna be a bitter episode, let me say this. If OpTic had lost to Thieves, had lost to Gentlemates, even to Riyadh Falcons, whatever, any other team but FaZe, I wouldn't be as bitter. But losing to FaZe, your biggest rivals in the Champs Grand Final, and in the way that OpTic lost as well, 3 round 11 chokes in S&D, horrible. Horrible, horrible. Well done to FaZe, of course. We're going to be reviewing Champs. It was a good event. Let's not take that away. Obviously, I'm just a bit disappointed. I would have loved OpTic to have done the three-peat. Obviously, it hasn't happened. Um, but yeah, let's just obviously we'll show you some bits and pieces. Go through the games. Obviously we have EWC in 2 weeks. I'm recording this on Monday just so I can get it over and done with. But it will be out on Wednesday as normal. Now, I was tempted to do an early upload and just upload it today, but I'm not going to do that. If you do enjoy, please do like and subscribe. If there's any FaZe fans that enjoy this episode, yeah, you can laugh in the comments. You deserve it. You've won champs. And it's funny because FaZe, obviously, we're going to quickly talk about this FaZe roster because obviously Abuza and O4 get their revenge from last year. But like, obviously when they were on Vancouver Surge, when this team came alight, you know, everyone thought it was a downgrade. You've lost Celium and Abizi, but they've won champs. And I mean, Abuza and O4 had some crazy series. Simp was given MVP, but in my opinion, it should have went to Abuza. But hey ho. Let's get into it. Um, yeah, we're gonna start with the. There's gonna be a lot of chopping and changing regarding like what screens we use and that. So first of all-star teams. So our second all-star team was Mercules, Abuza, Simp, and Shotzi. And then Dashi, Scrappy, Joe, and Hydra were the other ones. So no involvement at all for Huke, which I think is unfair. Abuza over Sib was fine. But I'm really surprised. Obviously, Hydra first team surprised me because I don't think he's been that good this year, really. Um, But anyway, we start Thursday off 3-0 here. Really, really dominant for Gentlemate. A disaster from Abe there, a .6. It was very dominant. I know the first map was a bit close in terms of the scoreline, but after that it was pretty straightforward for the mates. Then we had this series. I mean, wow, we have to talk about Scrap. Um, we'll talk about the whole team, but obviously we have to talk about Scrap in both series, including the PC drama, which we'll get into. But first of all, what a debut for a Luca, a 1.35. This guy was absolutely frying, and rightfully so got MVP. Yeah, Celium would have normally got it, but the fact that this was a Luca's debut in the league, and he's playing Thieves, and it's a 3-1, and oh my god, Falcons were insane this event. I predicted them top 3 at Major 4, they top 12. I predicted them top 8 last place at Champs, and they come top 3. Like, it is just bonkers, and this was just mental. Can't even see it. That doesn't help. Why can't you see it? Oh, you can see it. Exnid is class, honestly. He was he was getting loud, and rightfully so. And this was them finishing their Thieves off. They obviously destroyed them in the S&D. It was 2-0. I still thought Thieves would reverse sweep after winning the Overlord, but not happening on Exnid's watch.
Oh my god.
it's just bonkers. It's a ridiculous, ridiculous comeback from the Falcons after, having a really bad Major 4, bringing in a rookie for Pred. Exnid, everyone was saying, was just can't get dropped even though he should have been, and he does that. It's just insane. Absolutely insane from Exnid. Um, and then we have FaZe versus G2 here, and it's a 3-1 win here for FaZe, pretty straightforward. Um, Abuza 1.42. This is what I mean. Abuza should have been the MVP of the event. I'm really surprised it went to Simp, but yeah. The final game of Thursday's action was OpTic versus Miami Heretics. And this was a nice 3-0 here for OpTic. Everyone positive bar Shotzi. On the other side, 0.71 from Metals. He really needs to be he really needs to be dropped going into next season. I think Trake's being dropped was unfair as well. But it's a 3-0 here for OpTic. I almost said for the Heretics there. Pretty good going. And then that takes us into Friday's games. Before we do that though, obviously Rookie of the Year went to Nwim. MVP went to Scrappy. I think that's fair. I said it was between Scrappy and Dash. Obviously, a lot of OpTic fans unhappy that it went to Scrappy, especially after how he played and how Thieves played at the event, which obviously, like I've said, we will talk about that when we get to their losers match against G2. But yeah, Scrappy had a good season. It's back-to-back MVPs, but then again, back-to-back disaster classes at Champs. So then we have Miami Heretics versus Koi. I predicted Heretics to win, wanted Koi to win. But it was a 3-2 win here for Miami. They closed it off in Game 5. Metals, with a bit of redemption there, 109 kills. That's probably his best series of the year. I'm not even betting. And yeah, that's it for Koi. An absolute disaster of a season, in my opinion, after dropping... not a disaster, no. That's maybe a bit of a exaggeration. Obviously, they brought Real in. Didn't work out. And then they did finish top 3 at Major 2 and Major 3, but then Joe Deceives left them, and now they're absolutely garbage. Kips obviously has come in, his stock's good. Insight, except at Major 2, has been dreadful. Kleenex has probably had his worst season since joining Toronto back in, like, what, Cold War, was it, or Vanguard? I can't even remember. And then Abe, since coming back into the roster's done okay, but nothing to cry home about. Um, but then this is it. LA Thieves, top 8 again. Um, the craziest comeback, a crazy comeback in Hardpoint. If we look here though, Scrap with a .63, that's his worst ever series. It's actually the worst KD in 2 series in Champs history as well, for CDL Champs. But now it's come out that apparently he had PC issues and they didn't change the PC. Now, obviously, in the grand finals between OpTic and FaZe, they had to change the PCs twice for Hugh and Dashi. The players should be playing on the best PCs. This should be and this should be an A tier esport. It's not an S tier esport. No, not a chance. S tier is your League of Legends, your CS:GO. This should be an A tier, and this shouldn't be happening. But a 0.63 from Scrap is bonkers. And it is embarrassing for him, regardless if there was PC issues or not, because other people were saying, oh, well, other players played on the same PC and were fine. But it's back-to-back top 8 finishes at Thieves at Champs. For the amount of money that was spent on this roster, including salary, buyout, I would argue that the Scrap Hydra Thieves project has actually been a disaster. Yes, they've won 3 majors out of 8. That's alright. I get that. Obviously, won a couple of minor tournaments. That's irrelevant. If they win EWC, it's a slight positive, but they were brought in together to win Champs. In my opinion, this team won't be the same next year. I think Hydra goes to play for Gentlemates. And I think Scrap plays for Falcons. That's my honest opinion right now. I think that Thieves blow it up after EWC. I think Abizi stays, and maybe Nuim stays, and I don't know what happened. Maybe Celium joins them. I could see a world where Celium potentially is on the Thieves. I don't know. The roster mania is going to be interesting, but we're going to look at some of the stuff from this G2 series. Why, whenever it's champs, does it want to mess around? You see what that means to Hydra. They think, oh, that's it, you know. Regardless of the situation that Thieves are in, that's an incredible comeback. That gets them started in this losers match. Scrap had a terrible map. Did he have bad PC issues? All of the thing, I don't know, but G2 reverse sweep him. It is just ridiculous. Kremp, by the way, outstanding player, and rightfully the most improved player in my opinion this season. Let's watch round 10 and G2 send Thieves home.
Oh my god, is he gonna get traded?
Oh my god! Situation, can you believe it? Not again! Not for a second year! DM in trouble, he will drop it, G2 completed!
Oh my fucking god, they just broke the fuck. Sam!
I'd have rather Thieves won champs over FaZe by 1,000 times either because I like Scrap and Hydra. But oh my god. It's unacceptable. It's genuinely unacceptable. Nadeshot invested his own salary, own money into this team, and this has happened, and yeah. And look, when EWC happened, they were like, oh, they were trying to joke around, oh, EWC is the one we want the most, you know, it's the one with the most money. They did crap in that as well.
Oh, bordel de merde.
Right, so we're going to see this. I'm not going to read it out. You can obviously see it yourself, because it is quite long. But like, this is obviously the important bit. So you're saying it's not the sole reason that they lost at the work. Obviously they checked the PC and it looked good, but that's not good enough. It should have been changed. I'm gonna be like unbiased as possible. It should have been changed. Even if Thieves win the series, it's the right thing to do. And yeah, he's completely right. Scrap does not go 0.63, 63 kills, 100 deaths. Doesn't happen. I do genuinely believe he had PC problems. I mean, he has said he's frustrated that this has happened and it's the most important tournament of the year. And I completely agree with that. But outside of the PC problem, does Scrap have a mentality problem at Champs? Because this happened last year and it wasn't the PC's fault. I genuinely think that Kismet has broken Scrap from that Champs Grand Final on Modern Warfare 2 where they got 5-0'd. I think that might have been Scrap's main chance to win Champs. Obviously, his teammate now Hydra won it. For how good these two players are, to only have one ring between them is bonkers. But obviously, regardless of what team they're on next year, both of these players will be competing for a ring. And I do feel bad for Scrap. I do like him. I think he's a great player to the league. I don't know if Beans has commented here.
Has always come from great.
Renkor said something felt super off. So obviously another pro that said there was similar issues. Beans, he said you're awful, but whatever. Yeah, if he's literally right. It's not normal. And I do feel bad for him. Yeah, it is. It's not ideal, but honestly, the COD League shooting themselves in the foot a bit there. Was it because they didn't want the schedule to be too delayed, so they thought, oh well, we'll check it, but if there's not actually a major problem, we'll just run with it. I don't know. But look, if Thieves had won that map 5, and maybe Scrap would have been on a better PC, but he had a really bad series against Riyadh Falcons as well. That was no PC problem. Right, and then we had uh FaZe versus Falcons 3-0, round 11 in the S&D, but FaZe take this one. Good showing again, by the way, from Aluka. This one was a bit of a simp masterclass, a 1.29 from the 2026 CHAMPS MVP. Yeah, a solid showing from him. And then obviously the other winners round 2 match was OpTic versus Gentlemates. Was hoping to get to that top 3, and OpTic do it 3-1 fashion. A close overload, but they managed to hold it on. Hugh 1.36. Hugh had a really good start to this event. A rough one there from Joe Deceives, in my opinion, seeing as he's just got on the All-Star team, the first All-Star team. So he's basically saying that he's a top 2 SMG in this game, according to the fan voting, the players, the media, all that sort of stuff. They've released some of the results for that, and I was really shocked to see. I was really shocked to see that Abe was quite high up in one of them, which I just didn't agree with. Anyway, Gentlemates then played G2, and unfortunately for G2, it's a top 6 finish. Obviously, I predicted them top 4, but they did get 3-0 here. Obviously, playing FaZe, Thieves, and LA and Gentlemates isn't the easiest champ schedule for them. Yeah, I don't think they'll be too pleased with the top 6. I think they have a decent team. I think EWC, though, if they can get a decent little bracket and avoid having to play too many big teams, I think they could maybe get to the semi-finals, get a top 4 finish, and get a decent amount of money. It was a Joe Deceives masterclass in that exposure, by the way, double positive. But yeah, that's it for G2, top 6. I expected it to be a surprise team in the top 4. But I wasn't expecting it to be... Gone really fast. I wasn't expecting it to be Riyadh Falcons, of course. And they played Heretics for a spot in the top 4. Now, I didn't expect Heretics either to get in the top 4. But this was a dominant win for Falcons, and they carry on this incredible run. All 4 players were brilliant. All 4 players... Real actually did okay. Best damage on the team. Close to positive. But Metals, there he is, the 0.6. I don't know what Heretics do. This is the problem with having an organisation from one... Well, it's not from one country, because obviously they had Trex was Argentinian, but Spanish-speaking players. See, the one game they didn't have Spanish-speaking players is because they had to bring in Purge as a substitute, and even though he has Spanish heritage, he can't speak fluent Spanish, and he doesn't know the call-outs, so it's never going to work. And then we had winners final, and FaZe 3-2, and do you know what, OpTic bottled that map 1. OpTic did choke map 1. OpTic should have 3-0'd FaZe here, probably would have changed the narrative going into the grand finals. Mercules had a great series here, but it wasn't to be. 04 1.12, Simp 1.18, Jars 1.06, yeah. I'm not going to lie to you, I was just really disappointed with this, but then I thought, well, if OpTic can beat Falcons/Gentlemates, they play FaZe on Sunday, I expected them to beat FaZe in the grand final, but I just think that it's best if OpTic never play FaZe in a grand final again after this. But then, what a series this was. That's not the series. I asked for Gentlemates Falcons, and that is what we're going to get. Gentlemates Falcons. They almost bring it back for the reverse sweep, but they're not able to do so. Aluka, MVP again. I'm lost for words, but Kismet in this round 10 to win on the raid was just absolutely nuts. And Exnid got loud again. He's been an absolute joy in this event, Exnid. Let's watch it.
Oh bordel de merde.
Négocier.
Oh bordel de merde.
I just don't get how Kismet kills him. Well, I do, because actually Sib doesn't hit him at all. Yeah. Sib doesn't even hit him at all, but... My word. Falcons top 3. The one time I don't predict them top 3. Surprised, surprised. So then we had OpTic versus Falcons. I'd fell asleep at this point. It was way too late. And OpTic do beat him 3-1. It's a great tournament from all 4 players if we had Falcons, but it is over for them here. And OpTic go and get that FaZe rematch, which is highly anticipated. And FaZe beat him 5-2. Yeah, it's obviously disappointing, especially with, I mean, OpTic had a good comeback on map 1, but to be honest with you, FaZe outslayed them the entire series. But if OpTic won those, I mean, they were 2-1 up in that Overlord, 3-6-5 S&Ds. The last one, they were 5-3 up. This one, they had a 4v2 on the round 11. The raid one, yeah, that was FaZe's, but yeah, 0.8s across the board. FaZe just outslayed them. Yeah, well done to them. Abu's MVP, and rightly so. First of all, though, before we show you the footage for that, Challengers Champs was actually bonkers. No, we'll show you that at the end, actually. This was class from Shotzi. It meant nothing in the end.
And it's from Broken again. He actually is flanking this time. They're just going to wait for Sim. They're just going to buy time for Sim.
2-2 on the attack. They've got absolutely no idea.
They're just going to buy time.
Is at their rear.
Ant's defusing. Ant's defusing.
Shanty's on the back.
Ant gets it. Ant ninja defuses. Holy fuck.
That is actually unreal. If OpTic win that map and then somehow win the series, that would have just been ridiculous. But unfortunately, this happened.
Eyes on the second.
Let's go. 4v2.
Now to the dojo. A booster battles his way forward. Hook on the outside tree down. It's a 2v2. Dashi trying to play it close. Backs up. He and Shotzi, the long-time duo now. FaZe biting forward. Aggression as the time marches. He's got it.
Genuinely, I don't get the placing. Look, I'm not a professional player. I've never even played Black Ops 7. But I don't like Huke's positioning. I mean, Mercury's 3-11. I didn't like Huke's positioning at all. And yeah, that was it. It would have been 3-2. OpTic would have won map 6. Could have been 3-3. And then, yeah. And this was it. The killer. The final blow.
Raza joins it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my
Makes
god.
it a 1v1. Abusa. Now versus Mercules.
Fake it, fake it, fake it.
Oh my god.
Don't you know when you come to Vegas?
You can tell that I'm a bit annoyed by doing that first series. Well done to the players on FaZe though, for their rings. Yes, Straza wins. Yes, I'm rattled. Champ Special wasn't as long, probably because OpTic didn't win. Obviously, this is the first Champ Special since OpTic didn't. This is the first Champ Special since I started the RoundUp that OpTic haven't won. Obviously, this is the third one. The three-peat was so close, but unfortunately, OpTic just weren't good enough and didn't ice up when they needed to. S&D wins your championships. So obviously, FaZe were the winners of this event. I'd also give a big credit to Riyadh Falcons top three. Really good showing, especially for Maluka and Exnid. I'm excited to see how they do at EWC. Obviously, it is going to be in Paris instead of Saudi Arabia. So Gentlemates fans should be there in their large amounts of the green suits. Losers, I mean, OpTic, 5 finals, 1 win, champs runners up. It's disappointing. What do OpTic do next tournament, next season? I mean, I'd be shocked if they don't keep the roster. If Dashi was wanting to retire, though, I think Scrap could come in, but I don't think that that's going to happen. Other losers, I mean, Thieves are obviously the main loser of this, let's be honest. Back-to-back top 8s at Champs, it's embarrassing. I don't even like looking at the thumbnail. It's not, obviously, for me, like, CDL's nothing compared to, like, football, but, like, if Liverpool lost the Champions League final to Manchester United, like, they've lost to Real Madrid twice in my lifetime, and AC Milan as well. I always think the 2018 Real Madrid one stung the most. Even though thankfully Liverpool did win it the year after. But if Man United and Liverpool had a Champions League final game and Man United won, I don't think I could get over it. Like, honestly, like with OpTic losing, I'm disappointed. I don't think I'll get over it until probably until the new season starts. But yeah, so obviously in 2 weeks we have EWC, so I'm gonna have a week off. The roundup this week, and then we're gonna do episode 83, which will be EWC predictions, because obviously by then we'll have the group pool, like who's playing who. There's also a last chance qualifier, which Huntsmen are involved in, and they have to fly to Paris to play it, which is crazy in my opinion. So we don't actually have all the teams yet. We might potentially have 1 or 2 roster changes. Obviously, you can only make up to 1 change, I believe, because we obviously had that Carolina Royal Ravens controversy last EWC where they ended up not taking part and 5 took their spot and actually won a series. I'm pretty sure 5 won a series in EWC. But yeah, obviously, so literally in 3 weeks, so obviously we're doing this episode, then a week off, then EWC predictions. I've just remembered that we forgot to talk about Challengers Champs Grand Final. So we're going to quickly, and I mean quickly, talk about that. So it was Omit versus P7, and it was 3-0 Omit, and P7 brought it back, and we had a round 11, game 7, to decide who the champion was going to be.
Find the kill. 2v3. Ted's clearing the space up top. Able to find the win on the beans. Just down to Eric Boom. 1v3. Denzo off the regen. Not going to be able to get out of there. And Amit will stop the reverse sweep. It's 4 straight Challengers finals for the Amit organization, and they will.
It's a Beans breakdown. Credit though, Omit do ice up in the end. That Ethan, by the way, is really highly rated. The guy who had 13 and 9, but apparently he had pretty bad series. I was watching this was on when the World Cup final was on, so I didn't watch it. But apparently he's highly rated, and he was obviously one of the players that Riyadh Falcons wanted. But yeah, so we'll do episode 83, which will be predictions for EWC. 84 will be actual EWC breakdown of what happened, review. And then that's it. Our second full season done. It is mental. And obviously next season we're going to go into that episode 100. Obviously regarding the viewership this season, it's not been the best. I mean, we had one video that got over 100 views, but we had more last year and the year before that. So the viewership's not great in all honesty, but I do appreciate the people that still watch. I mean, we got like 35 on the last one. If we get 35 plus on every episode, I'd be really happy with that. I mean, obviously OpTic winning Major 4 got 60. So that's pretty good. But yeah, hopefully next year we can do a bit better. But that's it for Champs. Wasn't as long as I actually anticipated. Yeah, great event. No, good event. Well done to FaZe. still rattled. Obviously, Simp gets his third ring, Draza gets his second, and Orpho and Abuza get their first. So yeah, that's it for another year. We've obviously got EWC to finish off Call of Duty Black Ops 7 cycle, but that's it for the CDL this year. Yeah. A weird year as an OpTic fan, because obviously 5 grand final appearances is very nice, don't get me wrong, but to lose 4 of them, including the Champs one, is a very bittersweet year. It was nice to obviously win Major 4, but a bittersweet year. If I had to rate OpTic's year, I'd have to give it a 7.5 still, because of the team actually being really good. They just couldn't. The S&Ds cost them. But that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoy it. I'm going to release it on Wednesday. If there's any other news by then, I highly doubt it, but I might add it in at the beginning. Thank you for watching, and yeah, well done to FaZe. Bye for now.